And our time is 8:18 where Nevada comes to talk. You are listening to Daybreak Nevada on the Nevada Talk Network, brought to you by Taco Time, Sahara Motors, and the White Pine Chamber of Commerce. We're not used to seeing Ely Maor Nathan Robertson. I changed your name.
Must be Monday.
You're now Nathan.
Yep.
Yeah. We seldom see him this early in the morning. He's usually later in the afternoon, but I guess things are settling down now. Things are a little quieter.
Yeah, we've settled into our uneasy routine. So,
we want to first address the report over the weekend of another COVID-19 case tested in White Pine County, but not a White Pine County resident, nor any significant exposure, if any at all, in the county.
No, it was an over-the-road trucker who had called in as he was getting into town having some symptoms and trouble breathing and felt he needed some help. And so our EMTs transported him to the hospital. He was here at our hospital, as I understand it, for an hour or two, and then he was transferred to another hospital for higher care.
So minimal exposure at all. Not a county resident.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this has been the bulk. This has been the bulk of the cases. The cases so far have not come from White Pine County.
Right.
They have been from without of the county, and there really hasn't been any exposure in White Pine County.
Well, I think the way Dr. Biyun puts it is there hasn't been any community spread. Any of the cases we get here are a result of travel or somebody coming in or someone having gone out. There's been no evidence of transmission between county residents, which is a good thing.
So things are going well in that regard.
In that regard, yeah.
We're starting to see a little bit of opening. The governor allowing restaurants and casinos to reopen. I wasn't particularly happy of the way he said it. He kind of inferred there's no restaurants in Ely. That's not. It kind of came off that way.
It did.
That's not exactly what he said, but
I'm not sure that's what he meant. But
no, I don't think it is either. But
sometimes answering those off the hand questions, you're not quite prepared to say it in the way you meant to, or however you mean. So.
Yeah, but
the Chatchis Radio Shack got a shout out too.
Well, George got a shout out, so he should be happy.
Yeah.
There we go. Anyway, so how is the reopening of restaurants proceeding in White Pine County? For internal service, I should say, because a lot of them were still doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And some of them hadn't opened yet, and some of them waited a week till they could kind of wrap their heads around what they needed to do and staff back up. But restaurants are just following the state's guidelines for how we're doing that. So capacity has been reduced to keep people separated. Servers will be wearing masks. They will be sanitizing, and just like most retail places, any place that's opened, as you may know, has been asked to reduce their occupancy loads by half. So if you currently have an occupancy limit in your restaurant or retail establishment of, let's say, 50 people or 100, if you have 50, then you make sure you only let 25 people in, including your employees. If you have 100, you can let 50 people in, and that's where we're in for the phase one. Yep.
Barber and beauty shops. Any more word on that? Are we starting to see them open up, and when are you going in?
Well, there's a long line of people ahead of me, apparently. So I keep in touch, but there's a big backlog they're working through. Some of them also waited to open up a week or so they could rearrange their establishments and furniture so that they could offer the distance. Once again, wearing face masks by appointment only. No walk-in at the moment. And they're doing a great job of making sure that they keep things clean and follow those guidelines for phase one so we can keep progressing.
Let's talk about a couple of things on this last week's city council agenda.
Sure.
Okay. Waiving commercial fees to deposit metal at the landfill through June 14th.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little about why.
Well, we just like to encourage people to, or businesses, if they're sitting on a backlog of things that could go in the metal pile, that we can offer them an opportunity to take those things in there.
And the city does recycle all that.
We do. Someone comes in and does scrap out all our metal and take it over to Utah, I believe.
So it's not like people are it's not like people are bringing stuff in just to stuff it in the ground.
Right.
That's well, I mean, that's, a lot of people don't understand that the city, even though there's, and I'm still not happy about discontinuing the cardboard and the plastic and the paper recycling, because even though there's no market for it, recycling's not supposed to be a profit-making thing for the city, in my view. It's supposed to be something that we're supposed to do to, extend the life of the landfill.
Well, and it's not a profit-making thing in my book either, but we have to be able to at least be breaking even on the cost benefit of it, especially now with the way things are going. But you'll be happy to know that it looks like recyclable materials are trending upwards, and if we can get to that break-even point, we'll start accepting those things again.
Okay, this will serve at 1785 Great Basin Boulevard. And I'm not even sure exactly where that is. Is that...
Well, that's the new courthouse facility.
Okay, so that's for the new courthouse. Addresses, I don't know. If you listen to our commercials, you hear I don't do addresses on any of our commercials. I give locations, but not addresses.
Right.
So, yeah. So that's for the new courthouse, and that obviously went through without any big issues there. Talk a little about the termination of the agreement between the city and White Pine County for fire and EMS service. It sounds drastic. I kind of understand why.
Well,
but it's it is not ending it forever, as I understand it.
The agreement we have currently has a clause in there that the city would have to give a year's notice for termination. So the council wanted, or some council members wanted to notice the county and then enter into negotiations over this next year to adjust that so that we can continue serving them. Because the service has worked really well. Call times have gone down. The volunteers and the hired staff are working really well together. We're getting some great support out in the county from the volunteers out there who've signed up and are doing a great job.
We just want to make sure, and the reason I bring this up is we want to make sure this isn't how it all started. You remember how the whole thing started? It was what one would call a cluster.
A little bit.
And it was badly worded. It was badly dealt with by the county commission. And if the county commission wants to come in and try to justify this seat's open to them too. I don't just restrict this to the mayor. This is available for anybody. If you got a question, if I say something you don't agree with, come in and challenge me on it. Okay, I'm more than willing to. But,
well, and it's worked really well from a functional getting people served standpoint, and nobody expected to have this, be flawless the first time out. Nobody takes their first crack at something and is a pro at it. So it's only natural that it would need some adjustment. And even now with the county and the city budgets, the way they're going to be for the next year, having that adjusted and looking at ways we can continue the service is really the aim of the city and the county.
In a way that both sides can afford it.
Absolutely.
That's the big issue. And you hit the nail on the head. Money. That's the biggest issue that I think every government is facing right now. Is
it's true.
How well is this shutting down? Do you think that reopening is going better in White Pine County than it is in other places?
I think it's going really well here. I don't know how it's going in other places. I have talked to a few other mayors around the state, and it seems that we're all dealing with about the same kind of issues. But certainly we have our benefits for being as isolated as we are, and with the smaller population that we have, and I think that helps us do a better job. And everybody, and once again, our community's just been so supportive and cooperative and diligent about doing what the CDC and our health professionals have asked them, that I think it has gone better than most places.
Your thoughts on what the governor said on Thursday?
I appreciated him giving an update. I don't know that he gave any real breaking news or any, anything we didn't expect. We're still in phase one, and I appreciate him touching base with the state. I appreciate also that his press conferences are more intelligible and that they're going better from a technological standpoint. Well,
he had to go to the legislature, which is something he never did during when the legislature was in session. He would never go to the legislature.
Well,
but
desperate times call for desperate measures.
But the legislative system, and it works better now. They that first time they went to do it through the legislative system, it was almost as bad.
Was it?
But it broke up all the time, horribly. But this last time it went fairly well. No real issues. Do you, are things working as smoothly in White Pine County as you had anticipated them to in reopening?
Oh gosh, anticipating would mean I would have had to have thought about how this would go before, have some history in it. But it is really going well. There was the hiccup about restaurants in casinos, and to the state leadership's credit, we got on the phone with them. We called all of our representatives and tried to see what we could do. And they had given us a fix within a day, which is faster than state government moves most of the time, and we appreciate them.
Most governments work.
We appreciate them being so responsive and helping us out there. So,
final 30 seconds. What do you want to leave us with this morning?
Well, looks like we're back to some rainy weather this week, and everybody just enjoy the rest of your month.
Just enjoy it. It's warming up. Hope
Spring's here, one way or the other.
Snow in the Sierras. So,
snow in the Sierras, yeah.
But what else is new for this time of year? Somebody asked me one time, when do we get our last snow here? And I told them Flag Day.
Hey, I've been snowed on the 4th of July parade before. So.
I got hailed on at the 4th of July parade. Ely Maor Nathan Robertson joining us this morning on Daybreak Nevada. Thanks for stopping by. We will talk again soon.
Yep, thanks for having me.
All righty. 8:30, where Nevada comes to talk. Chris Barnes has USA Radio Network News. We'll take a look at sports and have the Monday morning race recap. That's all straight ahead here on Daybreak Nevada, where Nevada comes to talk. Monday morning, 18th day of May. Good morning.